What's up, Manna, you majors? I'm Daniel McBride, your student life director, and I'm super excited to be back with you again for our second week of Manna U Moments for this month. Now, this month, sort of the theme, the only theme, is things that I've been reading in the Bible lately that have been encouraging me. And I wanted to share some of these things with you because I thought they might encourage you too. Now, in Genesis chapter 16, verse 13, I think we see something really amazing. So, to give you some background context, Abram and his wife Sarai have left their land to follow where God has been leading them. And they've been going on this pretty wild, amazing journey. But over the course of time, God has long since promised Abram a son, and Abram still hasn't had a son yet. And so Sarai is sort of like, maybe it's not going to be through me. So Sarai tells Abram, hey, you should conceive a child with my servant, Hagar. And Abram says yes. And Hagar conceives a son by Abram. And Hagar ends up being very upset with Sarai. And I think I can see why. And maybe you can see why too. So Sarai ends up coming to Abram saying, hey, what are we going to do about this? He goes, I don't know. You take care of it. Sarai ends up dealing harshly with Hagar, and Hagar ends up running off into the wilderness. But what ends up happening is God actually encounters Hagar in the wilderness and says, where are you going? And then he makes a promise to her. He says, listen, I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to make from your son a great nation. Similar promise to what we see God give Abram previously. And what we actually see is that the descendants of Ishmael, who Hagar is going to end up giving birth to, he actually does end up being the father of many great nations. So I think it's interesting there that we see God's plan at work, that we see God's providence at work, but I love here what Hagar has to say. In verse 13, it says this, so she called, that's Hagar, so she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her, you are a God of seeing. For she said, truly here, I have seen him who looks after me. Therefore the well was called Beer Lahai Roy. It lies between Kadesh and Bered. So there's this monument made in this moment. But I love what she says here. Truly here I have seen him who looks after me. Now listen, I am not in anything close to Hagar's situation. I'm not trying to rip a passage kicking and screaming out of context, and neither should you. However, I think what we see here is that Hagar is having probably her worst day she's ever had. And she's probably had some bad days. But in the midst of it, God meets her where she is and demonstrates that he pays attention to her and that he takes care of her. And if he does that for her in that moment, I want you to consider that while this is one instance of something happening, this is also reflective of God's character. Remember that this is who God is. God is a God who sees. God is a God who looks after us. And I found that very encouraging to consider that, I might not be in her situation, but I worship the same God. I'm protected by the same God. The same God sees me. He sees my problems. He looks after me. And I want you to remember that the same God sees you and looks after you. So I hope that you're encouraged by that, and I pray that you have a great week, Manna U Majors. I'll see you guys next time.